Hit record. All right, those that are joining us, welcome to our weekly webinar series, Agency in Your Pocket. This is brought to you by 123getfound.com. This webinar series is part of our private Facebook group. With our private Facebook group, what you get is weekly educational webinars. This is where we bring in industry-leading experts that give you in-depth marketing knowledge, unlike any other group in the world. We do weekly hot seats. This is where we will break down your toughest business challenges and make sure you leave with a solution. We do open office hours, 2 hours a week. This is where you can pick my brain via the Facebook group about anything marketing related. This is your chance to get questions for free answered that clients pay literally thousands of dollars for. Several bonuses included in the group, including landing page templates, all the tips and tricks that we use with our clients, just ask during open business hours. Here's where we start. We start with where you are today. We go over your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, your weaknesses, you're either going to do one of two things. You're going to hire them out to somebody else, or if it's not a serious weak area, maybe that's where you get more training. We're going to talk about your vision. How do you want your company to be perceived? Where do you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Then it's time to build. This is where we create your foundation, we create your roadmap to success, and then we take care of those weak areas. Like I said, either get you more education or hire out those weak areas. Then it's time to implement what we've covered. This is where you take action, and we put the plan to work and start generating sales. Then we learn from what has taken place. I'm going to show you how to measure your results, what steps to take next, and how to scale your business. We teach on 3 core areas: getting found, getting results, and getting smart as a result of all of that. For more information, head on over to agencyinyourpocket.com. Today's guest presenter is Chris Belote. This webinar is on local SEO, how to get ranked without spending a fortune. These are going to be do-it-yourself tips. This is not theory. This is real-world stuff. Here's some of the stuff that Chris has done. Chris is a digital marketer. He's been doing it for 11 years with SEO, local SEO, which is what we're going to cover today, and pay-per-click marketing. He's helped one company grow from $20,000 a month to $1 million a month using these strategies. He helped another company to $400,000 a year in their first full year with SEO, local SEO, and PPC. Again, we're going to cover local SEO here. He helped another company get a consistent $60,000 to $80,000 a year. And Chris, this was for the CPR business, part-time?
That's correct. He's a firefighter, full-time firefighter, 10 out of the 30 days a month. So the other 20 days he spends part-time doing CPR training, making $60,000 to $80,000 a year.
Awesome. And how you helped one company get to the top of Google in a super competitive niche. What niche was that?
That was a home theater niche. The industry big dogs, if you want to call it that, in Dallas, have been in the top spots for, I don't know, 12 to 15 years. And we got up there above them in some search results and in the middle of the pack in other search results. And it was somewhere around 6 to 8 months. I'm sure they were scratching their head as to how we got there.
Nice. Awesome. So hobbies include reading, traveling, sports, and cars. You read 2 to 4 books a month on marketing, sales, and personal growth. Awesome. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you. Go ahead and share your screen, and we'll get right into what you want to cover.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Jared. Let me see here. If you could bear with me, I'm going to get my screen pulled up here. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we'll get started. All right, guys. So what I'll be covering today is local SEO. Of course, as Jared mentioned, there's 3 different types of marketing on Google. You have SEO, or search engine optimization, local SEO, and PPC, or pay-per-click. I'd like to start out my presentations with some type of statistic or information. So 50% of all mobile searches are for local results, and 61% of those result in a purchase. Figured that was an interesting stat to start out this local SEO webinar with.
And that, Chris, is result in a direct purchase.
That's correct. Yes, that is correct. So why are we here? I'm going to share my proven local SEO techniques that will gain you access to more new quality local leads. So if you're a local business offering a local product or service, or even if you're a marketer that wants to get more local clients, you are in for a treat, because I'm going to be sharing my 11 years of trial and error, what's worked, what hasn't worked. You don't have to worry about any of that. I'm just going to share you the highlights of what does work. And also, I'll quickly mention that everything that I share in this webinar, I will be emailing a little guide over to Jared to send out and share with everybody. So if you could just, listen and focus on the ideas, don't worry about taking a ton of notes. I'll share the slides and the guide with Jared for everybody. Jared kind of already introduced me. Marketing's my passion. I've been doing it for a number of years, and I've helped quite a few companies out with online marketing, specifically local SEO. These are just a few companies I've helped. So for those of you that don't know, this is kind of what a Google search looks like. At the very top, you have pay-per-click ads, which has the blue highlight box. Below that, which we'll be covering today in the red box, is the local SEO results. And then below that are the regular organic SEO results. So local SEO is it's huge for somebody looking for a product or service. And this particular search is for a plumber in Dallas, as an example. Quick thing to mention, the reason I focus on Google primarily, I know these stats are, I guess, from 2015. The numbers are pretty close to this for 2016, I believe. But the majority of searchers still use Google over Bing and Yahoo. And this is why I focus on Google myself. So today's agenda is going to be very simple. I'm only going to focus on a few things. The few, if you want to call it 80-20 it or 90-10, I'm just going to focus on the few areas that have the biggest impact. Those being number 1, citations and reviews, number 2, backlinks, and number 3, on-page SEO for your landing page or website. So jumping into citations and reviews. Citations are an online reference to your business's name, address, and phone number. I know it's such a negative word. When I first heard the word, I'm thinking a citation from, in a negative sense. But all a citation is, it's really like a backlink or an online reference to your business's NAP, or name, address, and phone number. And consistency with your name, address, and phone number on these citation sources is vital to showing up high in the local SEO results. And then we'll also take a look at Google reviews and how they play a factor. So in the guide that I'll be emailing over after the webinar, I actually have a resource that I use that has 200 citation sources listed out. This is a copy of those citation like a small portion of those citation sources sorted by domain authority. And if you aren't familiar with domain authority, it's a ranking measurement from Moz.com, where it's a measure of the power of a domain name. So the logic here is that the more citations you have from high domain authority sites, the better. The more backlinks you have from high domain authority sites, the better. And again, all of these citation sources will be on the guide that I send over later on. So the NAP, the name, address, and phone number, it shocks me how often I see this, but unfortunately it comes up a lot, so it's worth mentioning. You have to have a consistent name, address, and phone number on all of your citation sources. And so if you look at the top left, that has obviously the correct name, address, phone number, and then you can see various instances of that where it maybe has the wrong name or the wrong address or wrong phone number. And on the next slide, I actually have This is for a current client of mine that I'm about to start local SEO on. I will actually show you live a real company where their name, address, and phone number is not the same across different citation sources. So if you take a look here, all of the areas that are highlighted with the red box, you can see that where there's an inconsistency. Now, if you look at the very bottom, that is their company information produced by Google. And this is another tip. If you aren't sure of the format of your address or phone number, Google your address and they will spit out the correct format to use. We are, of course, trying to rank high for Google local SEO, so who better to get the correct address format from? So this is the company name and address format and phone number format from Google on the very bottom. If you look at these results, you'll notice that the name is inconsistent. Q space D space I space Stone as opposed to QDI Stone. 1430 Dragon Street as opposed to 2605 Freewood Drive. And QDI Stone Dallas as opposed to QDI Stone. I've seen other inconsistencies with phone numbers, but this is huge. This is vital to getting all of these consistent and the same across all of these citation sources. And a lot of companies have inconsistencies here. All right, so so on the Google reviews, so if you don't already have a Google My Business page set up, obviously it's highly recommended to get that set up because that is a citation source and we're trying to show up on the Google local SEO results. I believe the link for that is google.com/mybusiness. But once you get your business set up and you start setting up your citations,
you can just type in my business in Google and it'll come up.
Oh, okay, great. Well, once you do this, another area of vast importance is your Google business reviews, and a way for you to see your reviews, or for even a client to leave a review for you, is if you Google your name, click on the reviews, as you can see here, and then on the right, they could click the write a review button. There is a trick I learned recently where if you click that write a review button, that blue button there, it gives the URL that's in the web browser. If you add a 5 comma to the end of that URL and send that URL to your customer, it will actually pull up the write a review window with a 5-star rating already auto-populated. All they have to do is leave some verbiage and hit submit and they're done. I do have clients that will actually, even like this Downwind Guide Service is a client of mine. They actually will have a tablet and they will click write a review and have it pulled up and ready for the client while they are filleting, cleaning, and bagging their fish for them. It's right after the customer's had an exciting time. They're taking care of their fish for them. Hey, while we're doing this, please share your thoughts or a review for us. And when I first started with them a couple of months ago, I think they had 2 or 3 reviews. Now they have 16 reviews. And you will see why this is very important. If you do a Google search for a fishing guide in Dallas, for instance, or a fishing charter in Dallas, and you see these 2 local results pop up, who do you think's getting the phone call? Pretty apparent who would be getting the call. Social proof is huge, especially for local SEO. So just be sure to keep a focus on your Google reviews there. So the next area we'll talk about, number 2, is backlinks. And there's been a lot of talk about backlinks over the years. I have followed the same principles for backlinks that I'm going to share with you for the past 11 years, and I have never had these principles fail me. I do not, before I get into it, there's a lot of ways you can source backlinks and get, spammy backlinks or backlinks where there's a page that has thousands of links on it and you get your company in there. I actually highly recommend going against that. You can actually get negative backlinks, like backlinks that affect you negatively. So the type of backlinks I go for are one-way, niche specific, do follow backlinks. And I will explain what a one-way backlink is, what do follow is, and of course niche specific for the fishing guide, if we want to keep with that example, is if there's texasfishingguides.com and you can add in your fishing guide service in there, that would be a great backlink. And especially if they have a high domain authority, because in Google's eyes, they're important if they have a high domain authority. So if you don't know, a backlink, of course, is an incoming hyperlink from one web page to another website. So if this Texas Fishing Guides links to Downwind Guide Service, my customer, for instance, that would be a backlink. So what I do is I will do a search for the search phrase they want to rank for, like Fishing Guide Dallas, for instance. I will do a search for that, and in the organic SEO results, I will find their top 5 to 10 or maybe even more competitors, and I will check their backlinks at opensiteexplorer.org. So what I did here is I did a Google search for Fishing Guide Dallas. As you can see, my client is number 4 in the organic results. So let's say, for instance, we want to take a look at JV Guide Service, the third result here. What you do is you go to opensiteexplorer.org and you would plug in jvguideservice.com, hit enter. Now, of course, Moz is going to show you some results and then ask you to sign up to see all of the rest of the results. The good news is, though, is that you can see all of their inbound links on the left and get an idea of where their backlinks are coming from. There's a lot of important information here. You can sort, if you look at the columns there, you can see like the link, the far left column, the title and URL of linking page. You can actually see the page that their website is on. So I know the text is small, I apologize, but the third one down, the smack tackle links, if you were to click on that link, well, if they sell tackle or, fishing supplies, well, then that's a niche specific domain that you would want to get a one-way do follow backlink from. And you can also see spam score, page authority, domain authority. I tend to focus on the domain authority, and the spam score is a score anywhere from 0 to 17. So just keep in mind, Wikipedia has spam scores of 3 to 5. So I think as long as you're, below a 6 or a 7 spam score from a backlink source, you're good. Anything over a 7, definitely over a 10, I would stay away from. So a one-way, so there's 3 types of links. So I keep talking about a one-way link. So a reciprocal link, it was a tactic that was used many years ago where you would share links with another company, maybe in your niche or maybe not. But the problem is I didn't find success with it, so I quickly stopped doing it. There's another technique, number 2, which is a triangle, or A links to B, B links to C, and C links to A. Google's algorithms can see this, and you can be punished for doing these type of techniques. The only type of backlinks that I spend time on, and it's kind of an 80-20 on backlinking, is getting a one-way backlink. So you basically go to Texas Fishing Guides, you sign up as a guide in your respective area, you put your website on there, hit save, you're done. That's a one-way backlink. And those are the only backlinks I would recommend focusing on. In regards to do follow or followed versus no follow or no followed, as you see here, there's the Moz that I keep referencing, Moz.com. They have a Moz bar. If you go to the Google Chrome extensions and type in Moz bar, M-O-Z-B-A-R, you can click on the pencil that you see highlighted there in purple in the top left, and then you can click on followed and no followed. And as you can see on this example on this Wikipedia page, you can see the blue links are do follow links and the purple links are no follow. The importance of this, of course, is if you get a backlink from somebody, and it's a no follow backlink, it's not going to pass any link juice over, as they call it. There's been debates on if having all do follow backlinks is a good or bad thing, or having a mixture of do follow and no follow is good. I think having maybe 80% do follow or followed and 20% no followed is a good mix. And the reason for that is because it looks more natural to Google. If you have 1,000 do follow backlinks, it looks kind of engineered. If you have now do follow are where you get your results, but I would throw in a few no follows here and there, and you can get no follow backlinks from maybe going for, if we're going to continue with the fishing guide niche, if you were to go to maybe a fishing related forum and make an account and comment on posts that people make, well, your name is linked to your website, more than likely your name is going to be a no follow link. So that's, I would highly focus on one-way do follow backlinks, but having some no follows in the mix is not a bad thing. So the third and final area for local SEO that I focus on is on-page SEO.
Hey, Chris, I got one question for you regarding backlinks.
Sure.
There was a number of years ago, and I think to some extent people are still trying to use it because of, old tactics, and, they die hard. But there was the practice of link farms, and there's all kinds of software, I believe, that still exists that will claim they'll add, however many links in whatever amount of period for X amount of dollars, but that's typically where they go, right? So is there a way of vetting that, and like if it's, say, through a software source?
Well, I would, me personally, I wouldn't use. Are you asking how they could get more backlinks, or how they could avoid using the?
Or just say somebody's watching this right now and they're thinking, okay, well, I want to get as many backlinks as possible. If you start Googling that, how to get a bunch of backlinks, you're going to be met with a number of situations. Hey, Carl, how's it going? You're going to be met with a number of situations where you're going to come across software or VA type people that will volunteer to provide all those backlinks for you and make it easy. But those are not the links that you want, and those will go against your ranking and hurt you. Correct.
It's quality over quantity.
So you recommend staying away from those software or VAs that volunteer that at all anyway, right? Because you can't do what we just covered, where you're going through and looking at the spam score.
Correct. And it's, and I have always had a small number of high quality backlinks do the job for every niche I've been involved in. Probably one of the hardest niches I've been in is the home theater niche. And I think I got him in that niche. I think I got him 30 high quality backlinks, and some of his competitors that show up below him have thousands of backlinks. But the problem is most of these backlinks are crap.
Right.
So it's definitely quality over quantity. And Google's paying attention to this too. Google, I mean, you have to, if you do get with these link farming sites, or do get a ton of backlinks all at once, and it hits Google's radar, they can actually penalize your site, and you have to go through a whole process of removing these backlinks to you and resubmitting your site to Google for them to put you back on, put you back in the results. Like, hey, it was a mistake. Sorry. I mean, it's a lot of time and effort. So I would urge anybody that is looking at getting backlinks from another source to make entirely sure they know what they're doing, and they're basically following what I just shared.
And perhaps maybe even asking where the links are going to come from.
Exactly. Most definitely.
And so, if they can send them to you, you can review them through the tool that we just covered, the system that we just covered.
Exactly. And that tool that that I went through is actually, it's very important. I didn't mention this, but this tool is also very important to do on your own company too, not just your competitors. Because if
Right.
you use this tool on your own company, you can see what your spam score is. You can see where your backlinks are. I mean, who knows? What if one of your competitors sends you a ton of crap backlinks that negatively affects you? You would never know unless you looked at it in here.
Sure.
So definitely quality over quantity, and niche specific backlinks. One way is the way that that's the direction I've always gone. And I've seen the best impact or best result.
And then one more question on backlinks. Do social profiles count, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and how about even LinkedIn, Alignable, and the business specific ones?
From what I understand, most of those are no follow backlinks, but those are also actually looked at more as a citation source than a backlink source.
Okay.
So the benefit, so yes, so it's I didn't cover this, but when you go through these citation sources that we'll email out in that guide, it's very important to, of course, have the consistent information that we talked about, but to fill out your profile as completely as you can. Pictures, website URL, a description of your services, what categories you need to be in, your company name,
Hours open. Yeah.
yes. All of that stuff is so important because most companies don't fill that out. And I'll give you a really crazy example I'm going to share here in a minute after we go through number 3 on the on-page SEO. There is a customer, I guess the firefighter that we spoke of. I'll cover something crazy with him here in a moment after on-page SEO that shows the power of doing local SEO the right way. I'll just leave it at that until we get to that point.
Awesome.
So number 3, on-page SEO. Most people probably are familiar with this. I'll cover it just to be sure. So your title tag, your H1, H2, and H3 tags, your content, and then of course your image name and alt tag for your image and meta description are very important. If you aren't familiar with all of these terms, I would get with your web person or even maybe Google them to kind of see exactly where they are. Proximity has a lot to do with all of these. So on your title tag, for instance, if you are a home theater company in Dallas, then you want to have home theater in Dallas somewhere towards the beginning of your title tag. If you also offer surround sound, then it's not as important as home theater, then that would probably need to be towards the end of your title tag. So proximity is huge. The same thing for the H1, H2, and H3 tags. The first words and the closest to the top are, so an H1 tag, the first word you use is going to be the most important. The second word you use is a little bit less, third word, etc. And then, of course, in the content, you don't want to keyword stuff, but you do want to, if you're a home theater company, talk about what your services you offer. You could even highlight important words by bolding or underlining them. Google notices that, or italicizing the words, and talk about what you offer and your solutions you offer, but don't keyword stuff. We're a home theater company that offers home theater services in Dallas, and we're the best home theater company. Don't do that.
Right.
Google will notice that you're keyword stuffing, and it will go against you. Another area I noticed that customers don't put focus on is on the image name and the alt tag. So the image name, let's say, for instance, your picture is image11.jpg. Well, that doesn't do you any favors. You could change the name of that image to home-theater-company-dallas-texas.jpg. Now you have some keywords in your image name. And then the alt tag, again, if you aren't familiar with that, you can Google it to see how the format looks or talk to your web person. The alt tag is just another descriptor for that image. So you could put, home theater company or home theater installation company in Dallas, Texas, something to that effect. The meta description is another area I focus on, but I really focus on the meta description as more of like a sales type area and with a call to action. if you were to, so you may put, here's what we do, here's where we're located. Call today for your free consultation with your phone number. You would be surprised how many companies don't have a call to action in their meta description. Actually, if I go back to those SEO results that we had a minute ago, if you look at all of these, with the exception of my client, which is the fourth one from the top, none of them have a call to action with a phone number. My client is the only one where, it says call today with his phone number. So definitely an important thing to use there. And also, if you look at his title tag, you'll notice fishing guides and charters, Dallas, Lake Louisville, fishing trips, DFW. So Dallas, fishing guide, Dallas, fishing charter, Dallas, and then the plural forms are very important. Search phrases for his niche. Lake Louisville is a popular lake in our area. It's not as important as the other words, so it's pushed back a little bit. Fishing trips isn't used as much, so it's in the back, and DFW isn't used as much as Dallas, so that's in the back as well. They are still important, but they're not as important. So that's where the proximity plays a big part on the title tag.
And you've got to this result in just a little over a month, is that right?
Yeah, it's been
maybe
2 months, 2.5 months.
Yeah, awesome.
And you can
and just starting from cold, right? Because he didn't rank at all.
He did have a website. He didn't have any. I think he had one backlink, and he actually had some local SEO done, but it was done by like scrapey bots or scrapers, and it was all incorrect data.
Yeah.
So he had an online presence, but no backlinks, and all of his citations were messed up. So in a couple of months, I fixed all of his citations. I got him some quality backlinks, and boom, we're at the top. And I'll even show you, showing even where I'm at right here in the organic results. If you do the citations correctly and have a good number of reviews, you can still show in the top 3 local SEO, the 3-pack, as they call it. And still, it's a benefit to both. I mean, you could show up in the local SEO in the top, and you can show up in the regular SEO results as well. So I'll be covering that after the on-page SEO. I'll actually show some results that we've gotten for clients. So the viewers can kind of see what type of results they could be expecting. So another area outside of the on-page SEO, is the Google Search Console, to make sure there's no crawling errors with Google. You want to make sure Google can crawl your site and understand all of your code. And then, of course, the schema markup. There's a code generator, and I'll be going through these a little more in depth here in a moment. The schema markup will show Google that, okay, this is their name, address, back to the NAP, name, address, and phone number that's ties in with your citations. And then, of course, having a fast website and a mobile-friendly site, which Google has been hinting at this to us for years. It really is important. So just kind of going back to the on-page ranking factors. So if you've got Tom's Auto Repair, obviously you want to have auto repair in your title tag. If you can have it in your URL, that could be beneficial. Having it in your H1, H2, H3 tags, your body text, your image name and alt tag, etc. It's important to be mindful of having that search phrase and those keywords in all of these different areas on your website. The Google Search Console, you can get to that. Again, this will be sent in the guide, but you can get to that by going to google.com/webmasters/tools, entering your website in. You have to verify your website, which is pretty simple. If you can't do it, get your web hosting company or your webmaster maybe to do it for you. But this is the area that you want to make sure under crawl and then crawl errors that there's no errors. You basically want to make sure that Google can read your site properly. And then the schema code, the schema.org code. If you go to schema.org/local business, you can get the schema markup code for your name, address, and phone number, which helps Google identify you with the citation sources you've already set. If you go to this link, schema.org/local business, and go down to example 3 and click on microdata, which is highlighted here, this is the exact one I've always used. And then just fill in the name, description, street address, region, phone number, etc.
And this is something, if you're not familiar with doing, you can hire a VA to do this.
Most definitely. Yes, most definitely. One area here that I don't know of the true how weighted this is, how important it is, but I do it, is I actually have on the footer of all of my customer sites, I have this schema markup in one of the columns in the footer, and it shows up on every page of their site. Now, I don't know if it just has to be on your homepage and that's it, or I don't know, but I've always put it on the footer, which of course shows the same on every page of every site. So I don't think it would matter as long as you have it on one page on your site, but I could be wrong there. Just something to think about.
Real quick, Chris, if somebody wanted to hire somebody to do this part, they go to this and they copy it. They can fill in their own information and look at that. But what skill set would they look for on Fiverr or Upwork or whatever? What would they type in that search box to find the right person to do this?
I would say a web design, someone who does web design. I mean, most of the
or web developer, maybe.
Web developer. There you go.
Okay.
I see a lot of people are still using WordPress sites. I still use WordPress from time to time. So maybe even a WordPress website developer or WordPress website person. But
if that's what your site's built in.
If that's what you're exactly. There's a lot of people, and thanks for mentioning that. I think Fiverr and those type of sites like that are great for this type of work, because rather than you spending the time on this, you can spend the time on your business and the areas you're good at and outsource this little bit of work to somebody who can knock it out for you for $5, $10,
yes,
whatever.
Yeah. So basically, in other words, if you're looking at this and that's like, gibberish or like trying to read hieroglyphics, you can just follow this link and fill in your information correctly, send it to the right person, web developer that has the right, qualifications and reviews and so forth on Upwork, Fiverr, etc.
Exactly. So let's see here. And then the fast website speed and a mobile-friendly site. I've tried different website speed tests over the years, and I personally like Pingdom. So the link there is tools.pingdom.com. So what's cool is you can enter your URL, hit start test, and you can even test from different cities, states, countries, etc. But what it does is it gives you a performance grade, a load time, and it tells you how much faster your website is than other websites. But it also gives you performance insights on the bottom and tells you how you're scoring. So again, if you have a web developer and this is gibberish to you, so combine external JavaScript is an area we got an F on. So maybe you give that to your web developer and say, hey, we need to combine the external JavaScript to improve our site speed, or remove query strings from whatever those bad rankings are. So that's pretty cool because it gives you areas to focus on to improve.
Or if you're a do-it-yourself type person, you could Google how to combine external JavaScript.
Exactly.
How to remove query strings, etc.
And if you are using WordPress and you are a do-it-yourselfer, there's probably a plugin for these.
Right. But careful with overloading too many
that's
as
true.
you know, Chris, I'm not a WordPress guy, but careful with overloading too many plugins, right?
Yes, and that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because I personally I try to use the least number of plugins as possible. Even if you have plugins that are not active and maybe deactivated, remove them, because It's affecting your site speed. And another thing are the themes. WordPress comes preloaded with their own 2014, 2015, 2016 themes. That's slowing your site down. Delete those. Just use your theme that you're going to use. So Google has their own way for you to test if your website is mobile friendly. The link's below, search.google.com/search-console/mobile-friendly. and you just enter in your domain, boom, it tells you if your website's mobile friendly or not. Pretty simple, self-explanatory, but mobile is huge for Google. They've been talking about it for years. I think it's been a couple of years ago now that they stated that if your website is not mobile friendly, you'll be pushed down in the rankings.
Right.
It's even more apparent now. Fast loading website, mobile friendliness are huge.
Right. And the other thing I'll say about the mobile sites, use this tool and this link and see, but the other thing is if you're watching this right now and it's not on your phone, pull your website up on your phone. And if your website looks like a shrunk down mini version of your desktop site, it's not mobile friendly.
Great point.
It needs to stack, it needs to stack. You're going vertical. You're not going horizontal anymore. The desktop experience, laptop, whatever is horizontal. The mobile experience is vertical. It's up, down. It's not left, right at all. Exactly.
Great point. So what I have now I'm going to actually show you some results that we've got and how local SEO has been huge. So I've been working with this particular fishing guide here for, I don't know, it's probably been 2.5 months. He wasn't really showing up in the local SEO results, but as you can see from this search right here, and again, some search results show ads and then local SEO and then organic SEO results. Some search results just show local SEO and then the regular. It's all dependent on the search phrases you use. Fishing guide Dallas here may show different than fishing guides Dallas, the plural form. So be mindful of that and mindful of the exact search phrase you're wanting to show for. In this particular example, if somebody is searching for a fishing guide in Dallas, based on the citations, backlink, on-page SEO ranking factors that we've done, and a heavy focus on reviews, one would think that we're going to get the call based on having the larger number of reviews and being at the top.
Definitely. You're going to at least get a shot at the lead.
So here's another search I did for the plural form, fishing guides Dallas. Now, what I wanted to point out here, and these searches I'm showing are above the fold. I haven't scrolled down. Above the fold means everything you can see before you have to scroll down. This search is above the fold. This search is above the fold. Look how much real estate this guy has. I have a pay-per-click ad at the very top. He's number 2 in the regular SEO results. And then Google is not even showing the local SEO results with the 3-pack. They're just showing us. They've deemed us as the best result for a local company based on our citations, our backlinks, our on-page SEO factors, and our reviews. So we get all of this space on the right. Look how much real estate he's taken up there.
That's lot.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And so this particular search, so this is for the home theater company I worked with in Dallas, Dallas Home Theater. So the 2 below, Star Power and Stellar. If you're from Dallas, from DFW, from Texas, these guys have been in the game for years, 12 years, 15 years, I don't know, but they've dominated local SEO, organic, regular SEO. They've dominated everything. And it took us 6 to 8 months of applying everything I've shown you here in this webinar to get to where we are right there. Now, something else worth mentioning. I've heard of people mentioning that having your physical address on there and having the directions, you have to have that to show up at the top. This is an example of proving that incorrectly. We show that we take our products and services to our customer and we don't want our address to be shown. So if you notice, you'll see just the website on our selection, whereas on the 2 below, they have website and directions. Just keep in mind that you can show your location for the directions, or you don't have to if you don't want them to come to your location or if you go straight to them. From my experiences, I haven't been affected negatively by this, and this is a result of that.
And that's a setting in Google My Business, is that right?
That's correct. Yes. That is correct. It's I believe that it's a checkbox when you first enter your information and that says, I take my products or services to my customer. And then there's another area in Google My Business where you can say, I don't want my address to show or something to that effect.
Right. And this Google My Business used to be Google Places.
Correct. That is correct. I had to zoom this one out a bit, but this is for a security camera company. I just did a search for security cameras, and that top result there, Camera Security Direct, was the top result in the local SEO results. Obviously, you can see the pay-per-click ads at the very top, followed by an organic SEO result that snuck in between the ads and the local SEO, and then the local SEO below it. So there's another benefit there. CPR training. Okay, so I'd mentioned earlier about the CPR training, this guy right here. I did this search recently. I believe it was a day or two ago, or maybe a few days ago when I was putting these slides together. This guy still shows up in the local results for CPR training or CPR class. Now, here I want to explain how important doing local SEO is and how if you do it correctly, how big of an impact it can be for your company or for your customer's company if you're a marketer. I have not touched his local SEO. I haven't touched any of it in 3 years. And he's still showing at the very top. Now, there's a lot of factors at play there. How competitive is the niche? Is this competition getting citations? Are they getting backlinks? Do they have all their on-page SEO factors done correctly? I mean, there are a lot of factors involved here. But the point here is I haven't touched his local SEO in 3 or 4 years, and he is still making a steady 60 to 80K a year part-time because of this local SEO result. He gets all of his business from this, and then he gets repeat customers and referrals. So it's done nothing but grow for him and help him out. So I just wanted to mention that once you set this up and get it going, it'll be a huge addition to, if you do pay-per-click only, add this in too. I mean, if you show up in the pay-per-click ad and then you show up in the local SEO result right below it, well, now you're showing up double compared to your competition. You have a higher percentage chance of getting a click.
And if you do Facebook marketing on top of that, then you're everywhere.
Oh, you're everywhere. And that's a great point, Jared. Something else, I know we're talking about local SEO here, but something else worth mentioning is if you have a landing page for your local SEO or pay-per-click ads or website, whatever it may be, do a Facebook pixel with it. And maybe do some retargeting on Facebook, and that's for another webinar, another time. But the thought here is, let's say you don't want to do pay-per-click, but you want to do local SEO. Well, put a Facebook pixel on your landing page or website, and then do some retargeting ads on Facebook. And then people that hit your local SEO, hit your page with local SEO that don't convert or hit your thank you page, can be shown an ad on Facebook.
I'll be doing a webinar on that exact thing.
One other thing I'd like to mention, because there is a misconception out there with pay-per-click versus local SEO versus SEO. A lot of people stray away from pay-per-click because they have to pay per click. But one thing I would like to mention to the audience is you are paying for all three of these, be it money or time. So either way, you are paying. So if you do pay-per-click, yes, you're paying for a click up front, but the benefit is you immediately show at the top of Google results. If you're doing local SEO, you could pay to have it done or you could do it yourself, but what you're paying with is time. If you do organic SEO, you could pay someone to do it, or you could do it yourself and you're paying with time. So you can pay with time and or money on local SEO and regular SEO. So I just wanted to clarify that pay-per-click is a great way to show up at the top of results alongside local SEO. There's just a misconception out there with a lot of business owners that they don't want to do pay-per-click because they have to pay. They're going to do SEO. Well, you're going to have to pay someone to do that SEO, or you're going to have to do it yourself, which is going to be time that you have to spend rather than focusing on closing deals for your business. So I wanted to mention that.
Definitely.
So the last thing I've got here, just a few additional tips. There's been, so Google has mentioned in the past about if you have search phrase keywords in your domain name, that it will not help you. So Google says one thing, I see something different. The home theater company that I referenced a moment ago, their name is Dallas Home Theaters. Believe it or not, it was available. So they got that name, they've registered it. Now, I believe that keywords in your domain name can help. I don't think they're everything, and I don't think you should go and change your entire marketing platform, change everything because of that. If you already have a branded name and a branded website and you've been online for a number of years, do not, like if you're, joeshometheater.com, don't stop, and you already have a presence and backlinks and whatnot, don't stop and go get Dallas Home Theater and start all over. That's not what I'm suggesting here. What I'm suggesting here is if you don't have any online presence at all, consider putting some search phrase keywords in your name, because the benefit here, one, you have the search phrase keywords in your name, so that helps. Obviously, helps you show up. But when you get backlinks from authoritative sources, and they're one-way backlinks, a lot of times they backlink you with your company name. So if your company name is Dallas Home Theaters, you're getting link juice from them for Dallas and home and theaters. So it's something to keep in mind. Now, I'm not saying this is everything. I have ranked people that don't have, like Downwind Guide Service, the fishing guide, he ranks well for Fishing Guide Dallas and Fishing Charter Dallas. Fishing Charter Dallas, none of those keywords under his name, and he shows well. It's just something to keep in mind you can do. Another way that you can get citation and backlink sources is to search a competitor name in Google with quotes around their name. So if you're a fishing guide in Dallas and you want to find some alternative citation or backlink sources, go put Downwind space guide space service in quotes, and you'll see everywhere we're at. I'm being completely transparent here. I'm not withholding anything. This is everything I do.
We appreciate that.
Something else that I see a lot of, not just local businesses, but a lot of other businesses fail to work on, and this could be another webinar, but I'll touch on it briefly, is to work on your unique selling proposition. And what I mean here by unique selling proposition is not, oh, we answer our phone when you call, or we have good service, or you get a free estimate. No. Unique selling proposition is there's actually a car delivery company that had the same pitch as everybody else, and their unique selling proposition, they talked with their customer and they found that their customer, was worried if their car got damaged when it was transported, they would have to put it on their own insurance or that would fall on them. So what this car transportation company did is they said, look, we will deliver your car from A to B, from us to you, or from wherever to you, and we have a damage-free guarantee. If there's any damage on your car, we'll pay for it. Now, what they're doing is they're paying their customers deductible on their insurance, their $500 or their $1,000 deductible. So it's a very clever way of doing it. But what happened is his sales went up exponentially because he can now differentiate himself from all of these other car transportation companies that don't want to do that. It's all about taking the risk off of your customer. A lot of companies, it blows my mind how many companies say, no, I can't do that. That's too risky. Well, you've got to remove the risk from your client. It's all about your client and their experience. If you remove their risk or remove a majority of it, then that's going to help you get more business. And I think that car transportation company, I think he said his business went up like 7 or 8 times the following year, and he had to pay a deductible. I think he said he had to pay 2 $500 deductibles.
You know, the other one, Chris, that's a pretty famous story among marketers and, you know, people who study business is the Zappos story. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they were struggling to gain traction and relevance and to stand out and to just have people purchase online. And, you know, it's shoes. People want to try on shoes, right? What if they don't fit? What if you want, you know, what if the size is off by a half a size because they're not the same size shoe that you buy from one company to the next? And so they offered free returns.
Right. And I think they even, the
free shipping.
Right. The last time I think I saw that from them, it was like free 2-way shipping returns, 300 up to 365 days or something crazy. So if you're not happy with your shoes after 100 days, you can send them back at no cost to you. Now
that's crazy.
It's smart because it follows one of the laws of, that influenced by Robert Cialdini, the Influence, the Power of Persuasion we've talked about before. For the listeners, if you haven't read that book, it's a great book for marketing. But it has to do with commitment and consistency. Once somebody commits to something, it's hard for them to go against that commitment. So that is what Zappos is banking on, is that you buy the shoes, you try them on, you like them. Well, you're not going to think of that 365-day 2-way return policy anymore, but they removed the risk up front to get you in the door to get them on. Now that you have them on and you've committed, I can't give them back. I've had them for 3 months.
Right.
Now, of course, there are some people that will do it, but I mean, look at Zappos now. They're huge.
Right. Yep.
Last thing I have are just some ideas for staying in touch with me. If anybody has questions or wants more info or wants to connect with me, these are all my channels. Rocketleads.net is my website. Facebook.com/RocketLeadsMarketing. And then, of course, you can find me on LinkedIn at LinkedIn.com/n/Chris Belote.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing all that stuff. That's awesome, man.
Definitely, Jared. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to watching some more of your webinars in the future.
Yeah, and then anybody watching this, again, if you're interested in this type of content, you want to grow your business, you want to scale your business, but you don't necessarily want to hire a full-time marketing agency, which can be expensive, go to agencyinyourpocket.com. The group is launching soon, and this is the type of content that we're doing in addition to so many other things that are coming down the pipe for this group. So thanks so much, Chris, for sharing with us all this awesome stuff.
Thank you, Jared. Talk soon.
Awesome, man. Thanks. Bye.